Hello, welcome to a Go Battle League video where I'm going to feature Zekrom with Fusion Bolt. Zekrom already has been one of my favorite dragons to use for a long time, even when it didn't have that move. And I'm gonna use it again. The team I'm using this time is Excadrill, Giratina Altered, and Zekrom. Basically, Giratina Altered is always really good as a safe swap, and its main purpose is to bait out a Charmer or Dialga. The team somewhat struggles with Zacian, but as long as Excadrill doesn't throw before their first close combat, you can actually win the 2 shields in that scenario. Giratina is somewhat fine against Zacian in the long run. Obviously, 2 players do take it out, and Zekrom also can hang a little bit with it. A Fusion Bolt is about 40 to 50%, so there's still a lot of damage. Also running Outrage on my Zekrom to win the 0 shoots against potential Dialga should I ever need it. Let's take a look at these battles. I actually had a ton of horrible leads in these sets. But the team managed to work very well here. Let's see, I lead into a Mewtwo, and this is very awkward because Mewtwo is commonly paired with Dialga, Zacian, maybe a second dragon. I'm gonna throw a drill on first, chipped a little bit, then try to bait out the Dialga if there is one. And there it is. Now, one cool thing to know about this, you can actually take this to the 1 shoots with Giratina. If they no-shoot your Dragon Claws and you shoot the Iron Head, you can flip this at 1 HP. My Giratina Altered is not even a hundo. Let me check actually what the IVs were real quick. I usually don't build hundos a lot because I just don't get them. Yeah, this one has 14 defense actually. And for me, it did not make much difference at all in matchups. I'm actually gonna let this one go. I do think I get to another move here. To get it off, and that allows me to farm this down extra draw. And in that case, I will have energy again for that Mewtwo, which is pretty nice. The Dialga won't get to a Draco like this, and that's just great. I don't really need to flip it, simply because I'm not expecting a hard counter to draw in the back. And if that is, then Zekrom probably has a very good time in the back. So I can take a move here, even if this is a Shadow Ball. This is not a Focus Blast just yet. It is the Shadow Ball. It will do a lot of damage. Truth is, if they went straight Side Strike there, I could have won this matchup, but they let it go, or I let it go, and they let it go too. And in the back is indeed that second dragon, and they should be very fine simply because I still have my Excadrill with that can do 1 much shield damage. We should tie here, unless they get a crunch debuff here. I'm also best buddied on Zekrom to get a Dialga breakpoint, so my Dragon Breath do a little bit more damage. But since they threw a Fusion Flare that does even debuff, I get 1 more Dragon Breath in, and I win that battle. Excadrill into Kyogre. Terrible leads. But usually these don't have a Dialga answer. They have their own Dialga, sometimes with a Togekiss or something. My opponent is deciding on what to do, then decides to bring in Togekiss. And this is definitely the worst answer of the 2, because I don't even need to shield here. And I can get a shield advantage still. Energy power is it's better again after the buff of it. Obviously, you don't get double boosted now if you were to get the boost, but it's still a nice chunk of damage. I actually can beat this Togekiss like that. I don't need to shield here. I have to get to another one, I think, but I do it anyway because Giratina Altered is just bulky like that. Actually timing my move very well here. Honestly, I think if I didn't shield that, I would still get to this ancient power. I do get 2 shields here, which is wonderful. Now I get the boost when I don't need it anymore. And I think I kind of lost track at this point of this Togekiss energy. So I'm just gonna take it out, and hopefully Zekrom with a shield up can sweep this. Because if it is Dialga in the back, I should be able to win the 0 shields with Outrage. If I had Crunch, they could actually just Dragon Breath me down, which would not be great. And it is the Dialga. So, is Fusion Bolt anything useful so far? Not really, because I'm gonna throw 1 electric move anyway. Outrage will take out this Dialga. They didn't throw the Iron Head, or they may barely not have gotten there. And now I'm able to just Fusion Bolt this Kyogre. It's only really useful if you get to multiple moves. Right now, not so much, because the animation is really cool though. But if you throw 1 move, Wild Charge is usually better, because this just does a little bit more damage, even though Fusion Bolt really is efficient. Giratina Origin is a bad lead. They have the best buddy on, so I'm not expecting Dialga on the back, so that's kind of good for me. They're also not swapping out, so I'm going to chip it right away and stall the clock as much as possible if needed. What I've been seeing a lot lately is like Giratina double Fairy. Now that team is definitely not impossible to deal with, but it is a difficult one. Xerneas in general just is not that great of a fairy type in my opinion because tackle is so slow. And apparently this team also runs wild charge close combatzation, so I'm not even in that bad of a spot. Obviously I didn't even know that at the time, and not all of them run that moveset. It's actually a rare moveset regardless. Gonna throw another ancient power here. It will chip a little bit, not too much. And I do want to keep my Giratina Altered in case it's like an Exegro in the back, which I sometimes expect with Giratina Origin as well. They actually Wild Charge, which I shield. That's not great, but now my Ancient Power will take them out, so I will flip switch if they shield this, if they no shield this. But they do shield, which is okay, I guess. And then I catch I catch a Wild Charge on my Zekrom. This is double resisted, and they are 4 times debuff, so if they stay in, I might actually be able to farm them down. But the clock is up, and now Xerneas comes in. And then, yeah, Tackle charges about as fast as Dragon Breath, so I'm a little bit aware of how far he is with his energy. They usually run like Close Combat Boom Blast. All fine. Fusion Bolt is actually nice here because it doesn't debuff me, which generally only means that the tackles won't do as much. But honestly, if oh, he goes for close combat. Yeah, never mind. If he went for Moonblast, and I threw Wild Charge, then it would not have KO'd. If he threw close combat and then I throw Wild Charge, definitely KOs. Either way, Zacian comes back in, going to try and catch a move unsuccessfully, and they throw a move before I throw a move, which is perfectly fine. Wild Charge doesn't KO me just yet. I have a move for this Giratina here. I might be able to get to another one. Giratina Altered is really bulky like that. Yeah, I do. It's crazy. This Pokemon is crazy. This is not just a Zekrom video, it's also a Giratina Altered video. Even though the moves are just so weak on that Pokemon sometimes, it just keeps out spamming. It keeps living everything. I'm gonna go an Exegro here, hoping to farm this down before he gets to 2 moves. That'd be wonderful because then I can take out Zacian. Exegro generally wins CMP against Zacian, unless he's best buddied. Actually, I'm throwing a move here simply because then he has to throw close combat. He has to throw close combat regardless at this point. And if he got 2 moves, well, I would lose regardless. Close combat comes in. He does have 2 moves here, so I'll win that battle. Zacian is kind of a pain to deal with, though. Exegro into, surprise, Giratina. I think I had like 12 Giratina leads in 15 battles, so we're gonna see a lot of them. Dialga comes in here. Again, let's see how I play this out. I always have a different way to play this out. The only problem that I face usually is that Giratina lead teams are double strong against Exegro. Like there's a Kyogre, a Zacian, one of those things in the back, and it's very difficult to deal with. Especially with Zacian, you go 1 shield down with Altered, it's basically just over. I should have thrown 1 earlier. Because then I decide shield play. I thought they would say CMP me, but they didn't. They did it on another after. It is what it is. I shield the move, then go for the Dragon Claw. Does my opponent shield that? He does not. And I know this matchup. I now come out with a Dragon Claw, and I'm at like 1 HP. Actually, I don't come out with a Dragon Claw. Usually I do, but this time I don't. I do have the Dragon Claw here regardless for the opposing Giratina. And it's a nice little bit of chip. But I'm a shield down at this point. It's not looking great. But at least I have switch advantage here, so I guess I have to go for me. They bait Omnus Wind, very unnecessary, and in the back is their 3rd dragon. Now switch is actually pretty nice here because Exegro has a decent matchup here. However, Reshiram as a fire type as well is not bad in this matchup because it will outpace to 2 Fusion Flares before I get to 3 Durons, even though I swapped at the exact same time here. Fusion Flare is shielded, and then I'm gonna hope I get there, but since I timed their move well, that's not gonna happen. Duron obviously gets shielded, and then they barely throw before my next Duron, so that's unfortunate. Maybe I can flip this though, because I still have quite some energy on my Zekrom here. They still have the Giratina as well, so this is a difficult matchup, but my opponent gives me a good chance here. I'm counting their moves very carefully here, and I know they need 1 more claw for the Shadow Ball, so this is not the worst per se, right? Ominous Wing just doesn't do anything, and now I'm at 1 HP though, so it's very scary. Sometimes the Dragon Breath comes through, sometimes it does not, and luckily it does not. I get the Outrage off here, and that wins me the battle. Otherwise, my plan was to go for 2 fusion balls if they were not to throw the move, the honest wind. All right, next battle against Vitor Leo, really good Brazilian player, and they lead guards up to my Excadrill, which is difficult. They were also in my Twitch chat earlier in this battle, so I was afraid they knew my team. And even if they did, this is not the worst lead per se. I don't want to swap Giratina just in like that. And look at that. I think I got 3 Mudshots in because he waited a second. I survived the Sand Tomb quite easily. I'll throw another Jurwan. Excadrill wins 0 shields against Dragon Tail Garchomp, so this is perfectly fine. And then I guess I'll have to swap in case there is Dialga. I kind of have to bait it out. And I'm not counting very well here, so I wasn't sure if this is Sand Tomb or Earth Power. It's only a Sand Tomb that is super effective, but doesn't do as much. And out comes Melmetal, which does not have a great matchup here versus Zekrom. This is actually where Zekrom is better now, because you don't debuff yourself. You can just throw your Fusion Balls whenever you feel like. Rock Slide is going to add up here, and I have 2 Fusion Balls now. Wild Charge does about 47%. Fusion Ball does 43%, so 2 will definitely take out. This is a CMP, and that's just fine. Really comes down to what is in the back right now. But if they don't have Dialga, it's probably pretty good for Giratina. And it is a Mewtwo, which is trying to farm me down. He might be able to, but I barely get to a very crucial Fusion Bolt here. This will definitely draw a shield because it will do so much damage. And now I have my Giratina Altered. I still have my Excadrill here as well. He has to throw a move to take this out. He does right before my next Duron. Very well counted by Vitor Leo. And then Giratina Altered can take 2 Side Strikes, no problem. My opponent needs a Shadow Ball and a Side Strike. So this looks kind of good. Claws with Dragon Claw will take them out. And they actually throw Focus Blast. They know it's over. I just go to 2 moves here. They do catch. Great flex points. Doesn't matter. Yeah, that wins me the battle. So, this is just one of those rare occasions the opponent doesn't have Dialga, and it just makes things a little bit more easy for Zekrom, because Zekrom was very strong against that team. Next battle is Excadrill into Dialga. Yeah, I didn't see as many Giratina as I was saying. They swap in Landorus, and this is fortunate because this is my only Landorus answer. If I were to phase 1 in the lead, I probably would still go in Giratina Altered to bait out Dialga and then see if I can get shields or something, because this is definitely not an easy lead to take on. You definitely need to get some damage in before you can Dragon Breath down with Zekrom, and even then, you probably want to have shields up. But if they don't run Earthquake, this is a very comfortable matchup in the zeros. You basically get 3 Dragon Claws before they get 3 Stone Edge that they need. A Superpower won't take me out yet from this range as well, so I could even take that. The problem is though, if I do let it through, they can match up me down. Throw right before the Superpower potentially, and that should win me the switch quite easily. See what comes in next. The Dialga comes back in. Doesn't even get too much energy, which is great for my Excadrill. One thing about Excadrill is it is very fragile. 1 Draco does about 75%, so it's not a move you want to take on Excadrill. You actually lose the 0 shields when Dialga has a slight energy advantage. They actually throw a move first. And in the back is their own Excadrill. That's terrible. Actually, going for the bad manners move here, throwing the double resisted Rock Slide. They definitely don't need to shield, but if it was a drill run, they would faint. So yeah, there's that. And they let me get to the next one before throwing. So now I can safely switch in my Zekrom. Zekrom can take one drill run. So that's just perfectly fine. I have a shield, so basically I have to get 3 drill runs here. Before I get to 1 Outrage. This is where Crunch definitely is more comfortable in this scenario, but it doesn't really matter. Outrage is going to take out this Excadrill, and that's just perfectly fine. Zekrom again, bowling through, but Fusion Bolt not really needed in this scenario as well. And Zekrom, Dragon was down. Dialga, you love to see it. Next, battles against someone who was also in my stream earlier, because they sent a friend request even for a raid, like an hour before this. So maybe they knew the team, maybe not. It's a Giratina Altered, and this is okay, but I don't want to swap in my own Giratina just yet on an energy disadvantage. On top of that, most of them run Ancient Power. This guy doesn't. He still runs the Shadow Sneak, which helps against Giragas. Trying to catch it, but unsuccessfully, and he anticipates with a quick Dragon Claw. Let's see what he has in the back. If it's Dialga, that could be tricky. It is Togekiss, however. I don't mind Togekiss. Like, Charm Nerf really hurt this thing, especially against Giratina Altered. Like, Claws and Ancient Power just add up so much here. Again, no boost. Watch me get it at the end again, when it's not needed. Ancient Power coming in. Looks like they're farming me down because they could have thrown an Ancient Power. Okay, dude. Okay. But since I left with a Rock Slide, all their energy goes down for nothing. Nothing. But I do have to make a call on what could be in the back here. And I'm honestly very oblivious here. With Giratina lead, Giratina Altered lead, Dialga in the back. There's Togekiss in the back. There's always Dialga as third. And I'm actually calling the double fairy here, which means that if it was Zacian, this would have been the correct call. But since it's Dialga, it definitely is not. It's Shana Dialga, by the way. I get to this outrage at 1 HP here. This is okay. It's nice, but still need so many moves. But they let that go, which is actually my win con. Because now with these Dragon Breaths, they now go into Dragon range. This was their one lose con. No shooting that Dialga. The Shadow Claws from Altered actually do less than Dragon Breath. Resisted Dragon Breath from Giratina, from Dialga. So this is perfect for me. Basically my only win con. Going for 2 Durons here, and that will win me the battle. Excadrill is really not as strong as all those big legendaries in this league, but because of its typing and moveset, it just does really well. Alright, we're up against my good friend Trent, and he's leading again. Giratina! Annoying. Trent's a really good player, so this is not going to be easy. He is best buddied on his Giratina origin, which means I don't expect Dialga in the back. I do maybe expect like a Zacian or Excadrill in the back. Let's see. We've already seen this team as well, or this lead as well with Zacian and Xerneas in the back. Trent actually baiting. He does watch my streams. I always bait, so that's just great. Making sure he doesn't catch this Dragon Claw on like a fairy, because that will do nothing, even though Ancient Power isn't as decisive of a move either. And he actually pulls up a shield, which is interesting. That tells me that he might be either weak to this. He just needs to get rid of this. I know shield another Ominous Wind, and then he actually does catch that Dragon move. We'll see later if that actually is decisive. I do predict the Zacian here. I'm going to go in my Zekrom because I think it has an okayest matchup here. But also, maybe not, I don't know. It's difficult to say. I think if I threw an Ancient Power, it would have been in 2 Duron ranges. So maybe that was the play to bring Excadrill in. But regardless, we're here with Zekrom, and Fusion Bolt still going to hurt a lot on this Xerneas. I don't want to go shields down though, because if he has that wicked wild charge close combat on his Excadrill, on his Zacian, then it will one-shot my Excadrill, which is not great. I actually CMP on that move, but he does decide to let it go, and in comes indeed Zacian. Now, I kind of don't want to throw before him, but the problem is, if he throws a close combat here, he's definitely swapping out, and I lost track of his energy, so I can't even use my own Altered for like a catch. I actually swap in my Excadrill right away, which is not the play. The ideal play was to catch the move on the Giratina Altered, but it is what it is. I lost track of. I lost track of. Now I'm gonna try to get the 2 Durons here and then have a Fusion Bolt. Quick Attack is resisted, doesn't do anything on Excadrill, but again, Excadrill is only a small mole, and these are big legendaries, so Quick Attack even still does enough to almost take me out. He does no-shoot the first one, very smart, simply because Fusion Bolt does more, and I'm one much away from a potential victory here. Now he has 2 close combats, and it's definitely over. We see him P-tie here. Fusion Bolt would definitely KO. It does about 50% on Zacian. And yeah, we see him P. That's unfortunate. Good thing I didn't debuff myself. Hey, I have that going for me. A Wild Charge doesn't even KO. Then it throws another move. It is the Giratina that I catch on. Which is honestly interesting, because if I didn't swap there, he may have thrown another move in it. Either way, good, well played by Trent. Again, Giratina lead. Let's see if that best buddy is also equipped, because if not, it's likely Dialga in the back. And they do swap it in. See how I handle this one. I believe this is the final battle of the video as well. Giratina Altered, just gonna spam these Dragon Claws. If I go shields down, I can pull shields from them, which is usually optimal for Zekrom, because Zekrom has insane closing potential against like Togekiss or other things you can outrage. We actually CMP there. I don't like CMPing simply because it would have meant I could have snuck a Dragon Claw. Or Shadow Claw, I mean. Going for another Dragon Claw here. Let's see if they shield and decide to keep the switch. They do shield this time. Do I get to another one? Unlikely. But my opponent knows the matchup. And no shields there. That makes sense. Can I much shot this down before he gets to a move? That'd be wonderful. But I'm not sure if I can. I will survive a Draco, though, if needed. Does nothing. And a swapping Kyogre. There's actually a win con here. My opponent is playing ABA against opposing dragons. And this is where Zekrom shines. I make a misplay here, though. I should have thrown the Fusion Bolt right away. Because now I'm in Shadow Ball range. But one positive thing about Fusion Bolt here is you don't debuff yourself like Wild Charge does. So that gives me better play against the Giratina. On the other hand, I don't have Crunch. So Giratina with shields up is more annoying. Fusion Bolt takes it out. He also has a little bit left on his Dialga, which is obnoxious. Because if it gets too much Dragon Breath damage in, that makes it painful. He might just Dragon Breath me down. At this point, he might even fast move me down. Look at how much work that Kyogre actually put in here. And now my opponent could go straight Ominous Wind. He actually has throws Shadow Ball. Maybe he's running a Dragon Pulse. Going for the Fusion Bolt here. Not sure if that's going to do as much as I'm hoping for. It does get shielded, and I make a misplay here. Because what I should have done here was try to go for a Drill Run. And now you'll see, I'm going to go for this Drill Run regardless. I do get there. I'm not sure if I would have gone there against Dialga. But now the Dialga might be able to Dragon Breath me down, which is a very unfortunate play. Because if I had a Fusion Flare, I just win this battle. And now I lose. So, well played by my opponent. Not well played by me. I don't know, honestly, if Duran would have killed from there. Would have been very close. My opinion, Zekrom, with or without Fusion Bolt, still an insane Pokemon. Does really struggle in a Dialgazation meta, but against anything else, except Extra Drill, it still is a great Pokemon. I would recommend. Thank you for watching, and hope you have a good one. See you later. Bye.